Dire team pick.
I believe second worst is Batrider. They pick it a lot and they lose with it a lot. So I don't know if I would first pick it, especially leaving the Venge. And like everyone knows how that interaction works. If the Venge is prepared, the Batrider Lasso is going to be immediately canceled. And we were just talking about the styles of these teams, and this to me sort of plays into EG's hands. And they're also one of the teams that's, I was going to guess Invoker, but oh well. Chen. Okay. I like that. I mean, they're coming in with a plan. Bat Chen is one of the strongest combinations in Dota. You just lasso if you get a 4-staff right into Chen, and now suddenly the battlefield has shifted to where all of the very immobile Chen creeps are. So I like the pick a lot, and it's demonstrating that they certainly have a plan coming into the game.
Going into our second banning phase, what are some of the heroes that are really going to be standing out for EG? Because Navi, I feel like you already have kind of everything that you wanted. I think there's still many heroes that are going to be able to work with this kind of opening of Batrider and Chen. The Vengeful Spirit Invoker, though, we don't really see EG taking this strategy one way or the other yet.
Universe Dogs, yeah?
Possible. I really hope they don't pick it for him, to be honest. I actually would be very surprised if they didn't fourth pick Tide here.
I was thinking the same thing, right?
It's really, really good here. You get a nice net carrier, and Venge is one of the best. Like, Venge Tide clears Ancients so fast, it's unbelievable. Especially after the changes to the Dragons, where now the Ancients will have a lot more armor. If Venge can take them to 0, suddenly Tide's E is doing full 275 at max level versus the 40% reduction to maybe like 170, 180, and it takes so much more time to kill them.
And it's a good frontliner, right? That Batrider can't exactly lasso.
Super hard counter to bat.
Yeah, so you have to go behind. Tide's still there in the front lines, able to get the counter ravage.
I mean, it's Universe Brood, so they definitely fear that, but I think Bat's incredibly good against it, and they're also in a position where they have the 4th pick, so they could have last banned it, but it's okay. I like the bounty ban for the same reason. It's just a solid hero. EG loves that, and it's right in the Fierce comfort zone. Quick note, Earth Spirit untouched. Yeah.
I'm not looking at this thinking there's one hero that we've kind of not looked at down the same avenue as Bounty.
It's interesting because one of the reasons we've actually chosen to give EG, and it's funny because people made the same comments back at TI5, or yeah, that was the last one, TI5, when people kept giving Fear Gyrocopter because the guy can play any hero. So at least if they first to it, okay, Fear's playing this, we're good. You don't have to worry about, oh shit, he's Nyx jungling, or now he's
Beastmaster and Talon level 1.
Yeah, or just suddenly he's playing a jungler hero that you haven't seen before, just things of that nature. And I don't know, Earth Spirit, I don't know how you can't pick it here, to be honest, especially I just feel like Earth Spirit Tide leaves you in such a good position, and you see everything, and you can last pick something strong, and if the game gets past like 20 minutes, you just kind of win.
In which case, if Evil Geniuses is looking to ban away a different kind of support, we talked actually about the Chen line and how well it works together. What are some other examples of those kind of more static stay-in-lane supports that get a big benefit in the mid-game?
Oh, for Navi specifically?
Yeah, for Navi.
Oh, Drow. Yep, it's really solid, actually. To answer your question, after that pick, I'd be a little scared. I would love to see them Tusk. I think Tusk Chen is incredible. You just roll in, and it's very effective against both Invoker and Drow.
Right.
It's just, this is a scary lineup from EG, and this again is what makes this team so formidable. Like, you ban the Lone Druid Enigma, both strategies EG will run and will play very well, and now they're just, like, they did this game 2, I believe, against VP at the Shanghai Major in group stage, and I think they 4th picked a Brew, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. It's quite good against Chen, and it's alright against Bat, but they just 3rd picked a Drow, you know, and they just don't care. They have their strategy.
It kind of screws with DTR as well. Nature's Prophet, his safe lane hero, Lycan, safe lane hero. OD is like one of his other mainstays, but you don't want to really pick an OD into Invoke a Drow with all the right-click attack damage. So DTR's options are being limited not just through bans, but also through the picks that Evil Geniuses actually take up.
Yeah, Void might be an option as well, but I don't think they're going to go that route just because it can be too pressured aggressively.
I mean, Spectre is still there for him, just to have that jump back onto the Drow range in the back of the fight if they want to.
I actually think that that's the route they have to go. They need to stop thinking about, and we all know who the crowd's rooting for. I believe Navi is certainly the favorites and the big underdogs here. I'd be very impressed if they were to win. I think a Navi MVP final would be probably the second most enjoyable for me behind Navi Complexity. So this could really go either way. They're taking a lot of time, down to 30 seconds on their extra time. So this is really the big pick. This kind of determines, all right, guys, are we going to try and all in, or ooh. Interesting pick.
A Radiant side Templar Assassin.
Yeah, I would have Visage, really
wow.
solid pick. Yeah, Visage is so good against Chen and TA. You immediately can take off the refraction. The birds just completely nullify the Chen creeps, and you can actually just click the birds on the Chen, and he's got to run out of the fight. No spells cast. And if you just look at the damage output from EG right now, it's a really scary game for Navi at the moment.
That Rider off lane is not going to have a fun time either. You know,
No, not at all.
between Grave Chill and Venge stunning you up, he likes to run himself back and forth with Firefly. Not going to be going anywhere.
I would have probably liked to see the Wyvern third, but it's not a huge deal. They're probably going to just think, they snap pick Visage. They were thinking it anyway. But this is a really sticky situation for Navi. I expect EG to just straight up ban the gyro here. Navi, there's so many heroes for Universe. Only the Brood is really taken out from him. And I still think a Tidehunter could be incredible, although Darkseer is also quite good here. We know they like that. The Vac into the Visage Birds, really solid. They do ban the Spectre, which I think is really solid here.
It's kind of interesting though. The Spectre obviously up against the Draw Ranger makes a lot of sense, but don't Navi have to get aggressive if they're running a Radiant Templar Assassin? I mean, one of the big advantages of this hero is being able to go from Ancient stacking to Roshan, right? And that's usually why we see a Dire side. In this sort of lineup, especially against a Draw Ranger, you already have that early control of EG. If they get Roshans themselves, this is just going to snowball out of control.
They do go the Void. I actually like Radiant side more, just because I feel like it's easier to protect the Radiant mid. And in addition, especially with a lineup like Chen Bat, you want to be in a position as TA where you're taking control. And TA is one of the best heroes to obtain map control, which would then open up the enemy Ancients and Roche and the entrance into the Dire jungle. If you run it, because they need to do that in this game, which is why I'm okay with it. And it also it helps the Chen, it helps the Bat a lot, because they'll have a lot of vision, the ability to control momentum. They're in a tough position. Wyvern doesn't do a damn thing to Void at all, so they're going to need something that can do something to him, and they still need a ton of damage, and I really don't know what their pick is here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gyrocopter. I just don't know if that's a game-winning pick. However, the Wyvern ulti into the call down as because it's one of the easier combos to time to get the actual damage on top of the Wyvern ulti. So that's what I would be thinking here. It's also pretty good against Drow. He just pretty much, he's going to buy a BKB, run in, and pray he does enough damage in time. But we got 7 seconds. Oof.
We've seen a lot of Exalt Invoker from Samael, but in this kind of game, do you want to go back for the Crosswex against Chen?
It's hard to say, because Crosswex is actually incredibly weak against TA. I think the Forge Spirit build is probably like a 30-70 matchup. Crosswex can easily be 80-20 if he doesn't get any help. And again, there's a Chen around. Drow Aura will help, but like a Satyr, a Tornado, suddenly he's just out of lane middle, and the game's grim. But we'll see. This whole game is going to come down to where does the Bat Rider find this farm, and does the Sven and TA combo get enough to carry the game? Because they both want Ancients, and now only one player can really take them. So I think EG's got this game.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Durko, do you agree?
Yep, I think so as well.
Siding with the favorites, well, at least in the international scene, Croatia definitely rooting for Navi. We'll see what happens here in this game number 1 between Navi and Evil Geniuses with Toby and Mel.
Yeah, here for EG versus Navi. Evil Geniuses. Jacob, you gotta say, that looks like one hell of a stable draft from EG.
It definitely does, and I had really high hopes for Navi's draft as well, going into after the first 2 picks, I was thinking, ooh, this is gonna be a close one. And then the Winter Wyvern pick came out, and I suddenly became a lot more skeptical, and I think this Faceless Void pickup was perfect. I was sitting there rooting for Beastmaster all along, but when they picked the Winter Wyvern and they have the lineup they do, especially with they were forced into a Sven pick because they do need this high yield burst alongside the TA. I just feel like EG has the more synergetic, well-rounded lineup, whereas Navi has to rely a lot on General's Bat Rider and Artstyle's Chen movement. And especially the Chen movement early on is gonna dictate the flow of the game. If he's too passive, I feel that Navi will just lose the game straight off the bat, and EG is gonna run out of control.
I agree. This is the strength that we saw coming out from Navi in their games yesterday, where, especially their third match, where you saw Denny's TA, and it really was able to dictate the pace of the game. Now, the Wyvern, I said I wouldn't say anything negative about it before, and I'm going to stick with that right now. He at least can help control up EG when they